All right, I got the live going. Now let me...
Recording in progress.
Yeah, that was really loud. All right, how's everybody doing today? Today is... You should be hearing this on Sunday, February 13th, but today the private session is Saturday, February 12th. And guess what we talking about today? Guess what we talking about, y'all? A really dope topic. We talking about intro causes of the rise or falls of families, teams, and groups. Great groups in history. Now, you know how many groups there is in the world? There's so many groups to argue about. So definitely, I'm talking about my perspective, but I picked some good groups. So again, today, intro causes of the rise or falls of families, teams, or great groups in history. Now, this is how I'm opening it up. Haven't you noticed how professional sports are viewed by many people? Team sports can be so much fun to watch because the sheer fact of seeing individual talents making attempts to merge their talents for the pockets of their owners. Now I'm just playing. For the greater good of the team. So individual talents making attempts to merge their talents for the greater good of the team. Watching your favorite athletes working together and winning, it can be therapeutic, right? So how hard must the businesses within the overall team business must work to keep the teams that you like watching in the green? I'm going to say that again. Since we like watching team sports, how hard must the businesses within the overall team business must work to keep the teams you like watching in the green? All right. The successful teams, families, and groups have counter ideals, thoughts, and action towards the energies and realities of jealousy, miscommunication, and divisive tactics. Hold on. Successful teams, families, and groups have counter ideals, thoughts, actions towards the energies and realities of jealousy, miscommunications, and divisive tactics that may arise. Because again, we live in a positive battery-only society where I don't think negative, only positive, like the creator of positive didn't create negative too. That may arise sometimes, most of the time, or all of the time in human interaction. So again, successful teams, families, and groups have counter ideals, thoughts, and actions towards the energies and realities of jealousy, miscommunications, and divisive tactics that may arise sometimes, most of the time, or all of the time in human interaction, right? Before we can counter a thing, we must know what we are countering, right? So let's look at some definitions of jealousy, miscommunication, and the word divisive so we know what we are countering. Because think about it, you being jealous, we miscommunicating. This is so divisive. Well, what's your definition? And then everybody in the room will say something different. So I'm throwing out, I said a definition of jealousy. Generally, now check this out. This is a code definition too. This is a code definition. Generally refers to the thoughts or feelings of insecurity, fear, and concern over a relative lack of possessions or safety. Jealousy can consist of one or more emotions such as anger, resentment, inadequacy, helplessness, or disgust. In its original meaning, jealousy is distinct or different from envy. Though the two terms have become synonymous or similar, if you don't know what synonymous, I'm being sarcastic. In the English language. So with jealousy now also taking on the definition originally used for envy alone. So this definition was just for envy. We kind of peanut butter and jellied it. And, so the two emotions are often confused with each other since they tend to appear in the same situation. You so envy and jealous. You so peanut butter and jelly. Jealousy is a typical experience in human relationships, and it has been observed in infants as young as 5 months. Some researchers claim that jealousy is seen in all cultures and is a universal trait. However, others claim jealousy is a cultural specific emotion. That makes no sense, but that's why I had to say it. If it's shown in infants, why would it be just cultural? Okay, so a miscommunication definition. Let's get these definitions out the way so we can, unpack this. All right, a miscommunication definition. It is defined as social inability to communicate adequately and properly. So you have a social inability to communicate adequately and properly. It is one of the many types of communication barriers. It is an instant where either the speaker, because watch this, when you miscommunicate, you blame it on the other person, or we blame it on ourselves. From what I'm seeing here, I'm blaming it on the other person, myself, and the solution to get better, so I don't just keep doing that. If that makes sense. All right. So this is where the speaker is unable to provide the proper and adequate information to the hearer, or the hearer misperceived and couldn't recognize the communication from the speaker. Communication is deep, y'all. This is just surface level. So the cases of miscommunication vary depending on the situation and the persons included in it. So, but often it results in confusion and frustration, right? So in some cases, miscommunication may even open up a triangle. There's a lot of triangles going on. Open up a triangle of other factors that can inevitably lead to conflict, meaning telling others what you think is best communication instead of properly handling your business in-house. Last definition, a divisive definition. So I didn't say the end-all be-all definition of divisive. I said a divisive definition. And the definition is tending to cause disagreement or hostility between people. Tending to cause disagreement or hostility between people. Cause disagreement, cause hostility between people. How many people in your circles are keeping you divided amongst other people? Here's some synonyms. Alienating, estranging. Here's a word that everybody knows. Isolating, discordant, disharmonious, are inharmonious. Now, my top 10 stories of jealousy, miscommunication, division within groups, teams, and families. And there's nothing new under the sun. So again, I just stopped at 10, but these are pretty interesting. And again, these jealousy, envy, miscommunication, divisiveness, and definitely ignorance stopped great movements. So number one, I'm going to say Set. In ancient Kemetic science, Set portrayed as a usurper who killed and mutilated his own brother Osiris. That's the divisive. That's miscommunication. That's jealousy. Number two, Cain and Abel. Number three, Samson and Delilah. Number four, Jesus and Judas. Number five, Everybody gonna be like, what type of jump is this? Number 5, Valkyrie, the plot to kill Hitler on July 20th, 1944. Here's another huge jump. Number 6, the friendships of Tupac, Biggie, Snoop, and Nas. I told y'all these are my list. Number 7, this is a big jump. Fred Hampton and William O'Neill. Number 8, this is a big jump. Benedict Arnold or Stalin not trading captured high-ranking soldiers for his biological son, Yakov. So literally, yeah, his son got captured and he didn't want to train some people he captured, soldiers he captured for his son. And I was like, whoa, I'm putting that up there. Number 9, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, Imam Wallace Dean Muhammad, Malcolm X, and J. Edgar Hoover. And 10, the honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, betrayal by FBI infiltrators, and J. Edgar Hoover. So J. Edgar Hoover made it twice. Marcus Garvey, he actually said that blacks are their own greatest enemy. And this is quotes from his book called The Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. Now, Marcus Garvey said there is no doubt that the Negro is his own greatest enemy. He is jealous of himself, envious, and covetous. This accounts for most of so he put himself in there. He said this accounts for most of our failures in business and in other things. Marcus Garvey also said, having had the wrong education, the Negro has become his own greatest enemy. He said that a lot. So he said most of the trouble I have had in advancing the cause of the race has come from Negroes. He also said those who desire to serve the Negro must be prepared for criticism from his own race. I did not organize the universal Negro improvement without calculating the cost, and the cost is ingratitude of Negroes whom we are serving. What'd you say, Marcus Garvey? Say that again. He said, I did not organize the universal Negro improvement without calculating the cost. What's the cost, Marcus Garvey? And the cost is ingratitude of who, Marcus Garvey? Of Negroes whom I am serving, or we are serving. Marcus Garvey also said, I am not discouraged by what has been done to me. It is natural and to be expected. The enemies that I have are mainly of my own race, and they have worked long and hard to discredit and destroy me. Marcus Garvey also said, my Negro enemies, finding that they alone could not destroy me, resorted to lying on me to the leaders of the white race. Marcus Garvey also said, the illiterate and shallow-minded Negro who can see no farther than his nose is now the greatest stumbling block in the way of the race. He tells us that we must be satisfied with our condition and that we must not think of building up a nation of our own. He will say that we must not seek to organize ourselves racially. Marcus Garvey also said, I was convicted and sent to prison not because I defrauded anyone, but because of the wicked enemies of my own race. He said, I will not blame the few whites that contributed to my conviction. Neither will I blame the government. I blame the malicious and jealous Negroes who, for the sake of money and position, will sell their own mothers. My own black people lied on me, and I was sent to jail for 5 years. Our people are so wicked to themselves, and they are not satisfied until they are telling the enemy something about themselves. We must realize that our greatest enemies are not those on the outside, but those in our midst. Now, here's my view on that. I say back before any cultures. Check this. Tell me what you think about this. And you see me pointing at you. Okay. I say back before any other cultures were around and everything was so-called black, dark, or whatever. What held so-called black people back? You could be in a room full of people, man. You will hear education. You will hear government. You will hear war. You will hear, I would say, jealousy, miscommunication, division, and ignorance, which ignorance is the oldest war. The oldest war is ignorance and knowledge. So I don't care what group of people that exist. If you take away jealousy, miscommunication, division, and ignorance, can war even exist anyway? Amongst other things, though. So, like I said, that's not the end all be all, but it's other things. But those are pretty big. So, I always felt Marcus Garvey wanted to only focus on the flaws and problems that can be controlled and progressed. So again, he wanted to focus, again, according to my perspective of it, he wanted to focus on the flaws and problems that could be controlled and progressed. What about them? What if problems that can be controlled and progressed? Look what they're doing to us. Problems that can be controlled or progressed. Now, I'm not saying he didn't have flaws, but I've read this story a lot, but it just fits perfectly how he's talking, how a lot of people talk right now. So it's kind of like, whoa, we haven't moved forward. We're literally talking just like Marcus Garvey. But we move forward on technology and things of that nature. We can take care of our lawns better and different things like that. But we still talking about, all right, I'm sorry. We're still not talking about jealousy, miscommunication, division, and ignorance. So I say this though. This may make a lot of black people and Negroes mad, but I would have said that back then. But instead of just doing their own thing, right? Just do your own thing, which is the thing that you claim that works anyway. Think about it. If you're scrutinizing anybody, then you have a way that works. So just do your own thing, which is the thing that you claim to work anyway, versus criticizing someone who's actually working or doing their own thing. Yeah, right. Okay, so here are some of the most used destabilization tactics that families, groups, and teams may experience, but should be prepared to counter. Here we go. How many? I said 12. It's 12 of them. Yeah, we did 12. Okay. Number 1. You could be fed wrong info to sabotage inside and outside the family, team, or group. So again, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that. You could be fed wrong info inside and outside the family, team, or group. Number 2, they may try to destroy your character. Number 3, they may use blackmailing tactics to influence you to be their slave in some way. Number 4, they may sabotage your money or business. Number 5, they may create legal problems to drain your energy, resources, and spirits. Number 6, they may create home and family problems for you. Now, not create, but I say co-create. They co-create. So, number 7, they may try to destabilize your money-making opportunities. Number 8, they may try ignoring tactics. Now, this is a tactic that they may act like you are not there or you don't exist. And if they started choking or if they started needing medical attention or something really bad started happening, they would instantly see you and instantly shame you for not helping them. But until they need help, you might be ignored by them. Number 9, they might try to keep your network busy with new opportunities or new problems. Number 10, they may give important info to your so-called enemies. Number 11, they may create short-term or long-term dangerous situations for you. Number 12, they may try to make you lose your inner circle or community support. Now, this ain't nothing new. This is some of the top ones that I've, studied over the years. But destabilization tactics can be countered with the right disciplines. What is discipline? Discipline is the disciple of a person's motives and intentions. I'm going to say that again. Discipline is the disciple of a person's motives and intentions. Everyone has a why for interacting with you. So their words may not tell you why they're interacting with you, but their energies will eventually tell all, tell most, or tell some of what's going on. You should practice on reading some, reading most, or reading all of a person's energy that's talking to you, because it's interacting with you. Here's another perspective. From a scientific perspective. So a group or forest of trees has a mycelium floor. So again, a group or forest of trees has a mycelium floor. What's a mycelium floor? What the mycelium floor connects other trees in that network at a root level. So all the trees are connected at a root level. They're all connected from root levels. So all the little network of roots and stuff like that. The mycelium floor. So just say a tree that thinks that it's independent would be considered insane, according to a mycelium floor where everybody's connected from the roots. Shout out to wherever humans get their air from. Because we have many things that universally connect us. We just forgot how to read it. It's the scary music in movies that signifies something is scary about this place, thanks to this scary music that's playing that doesn't play in real life. Okay. It's time to analyze the discipline causes of the people around you. Because the discipline can get you there. It's time to analyze the discipline causes of the people around you. Not just the discipline, their causes. So here's the supreme question. Do we use our best discipline during our so-called hell mind states versus using our best discipline when we are in our so-called heaven mind states? Jason, what are you talking about? What are you talking about now? Can you get in shape and stay in shape in heaven or in hell? Jason, explain what you're talking about. Okay. If life was giving you hell, would you create a to-do list, a schedule, or a calendar to get out of the current hell that you're in? So again, life is giving you hell. Are you going to create a to-do list, schedule, or a calendar to get out of that hell that you're in? Most people do. So our schedules change to a more comfortable discipline or heaven discipline when we get out of that hell. We don't stay on that let me get out of hell schedule. We kind of tone it down. We tone it down because we reach a so-called level of infinity though. So our schedules changes to a more comfortable discipline or a heaven discipline, which could make us sloppy and headed, sloppy and not in the best shape. So it could head us in the possible hell realities in the future. So when recruiting or attracting partners, ask yourself, are they in their comfortable heaven discipline? or hell discipline. And by asking yourself truthfully, where are you currently? Where are you currently? I'm pointing to both screens. Where are you currently? Are you in your hell right now? Or are you in your heaven? And if you in your heaven, did you kind of make your schedule more comfortable? Because it ain't as hard. It ain't as hard. I ain't gonna wake up like that no more. Well, back in the day when it was hard, I was waking. Can you stay on that hell schedule during your heaven? Can you give me an example? Master P. That dude works like he's broke. So you'll see why birds of a feather flock together, because like attracts like. You can be a multimillionaire or billionaire, but you can be a broke millionaire. There's millionaires that need to get their hustle up, because I'm a broke millionaire, man. I'm a broke 100,000-aire. Heaven discipline versus hell discipline. There are individuals that created their current disciplines in the self-inflicted. That means I did it? Yes. There are individuals that created their current disciplines in self-inflicted or non-self-inflicted hells of this world. And they keep their hell disciplines even when they begin experiencing the so-called heavens of this world. So, is there a comfortable heaven discipline that doesn't make you out of shape? Yes. I'm going to ask that question again. Is there a comfortable heaven discipline that doesn't make you out of shape? Yes. It's a not, though. You're going to have to not do something. It's called not focusing on nothing but the work that allowed for the new comfortable possibilities to be available to you at your discretion to possibly be experienced. I'll say that again. Is there a comfortable heaven discipline that doesn't make you out of shape, mentally or physically? Yes. It's called not focusing on nothing but the work that allowed for the new comfortable possibilities to be available to you at your discretion to be experienced. I still don't get it. Okay, here's a basic translation. The right work at the right time work. Because you can do the right work at the wrong time work. So the right work at the right time work gets you out of the hell, and the right work at the right time work will allow you to experience more so-called mental heavens and heaven outcomes. That's a different way of looking at it. Okay, so many people are scared of experiencing heaven mentally, and they take conscious or subconscious measures to sabotage the groups or sabotage themselves from experiencing the many mental heavens that come. Watch this. Guess where it comes from? You buy it. From experiencing the many mental heavens that come from true work fulfillment. You can't buy this. But again, work, you're going to have to work. Fulfilling work, it's a different mindset. So this means self-sabotagers need to be recruited for healing versus being recruited for business. We know so many self-sabotagers, but their resumes look good. I self-sabotage. But I have 19 PhDs. I have 19 PhDs. But I'm known to self-sabotage at times. I reached every level in the military, but I sabotaged my way through. Self-sabotagers need to be recruited for healing versus being recruited for business projects. Over the years, when developing teams or groups, I have purposely studied self-sabotage. And here are 10 reasons why group success can be so-called challenging when the overall group is strong as its weakest link. Okay? Here we go. Ask yourself, does their manifestation style work with your manifestation style or against it? Imagine them only needing to please 3 or 4 people, but they want to please 300 or 400 people. And they don't know who to please, so everybody gets a new car. Everybody gets a new car in my Oprah voice. Everybody gets pleased. Everybody gets pleased. You get pleased. You get pleased. Number 3. When you are on the phone with them or in person, keep a mental note how negative they speak. Whether that's being serious or when they're playing around with negativity. Just see how they play with it, like a cat plays with yarn. People will play around with negativity in front of you, like, negativity. Number 4, study how they begin things. Does it work for the group or does it work for them? Study how they begin things. Does it work for the group or does it work for them? Number 5, they will never set clear boundaries of what they deem as bad or negative treatment, but they will be shocked or hurt if anyone treats them bad or negative. They want everyone to read their minds except the sections of their minds that hide their bank account numbers and security codes. My man better not read that, or my girl better not read that. But why didn't you read my mind? But again, you don't want them to read your bank account numbers and security codes. So you want them to magically stay away during their imaginary mind reading sessions that they're having with you. That's what's up. That's cool. Number 6, study how they try to justify something that they did wrong or something that they did, something that went wrong that they could have done more of. And if you do it right, they will show you how they verbally lie to others or how they fabricate things when lying. So I'll say this again. If you do this right, they will show you how they verbally lie to others or how they fabricate things when lying. Because again, I said study how they justify something that they did wrong or something that went wrong. So you have to know what went wrong. So you can't just be like, see, we was studying rocket science and the rocket had blew up, but I think they was lying. I'm like, do you know anything about rockets? Well, no. Well, why don't use rocket science as an example for this? Use something like you do with your children. You know how you ask them something, a question that you know the answer to, you just want to see if they're gonna tell you the truth? That's what I'm saying. Make sure you know what you're asking. Stay away from rocket science. I'm just playing. Ask them, what are your goals for the plans that you're sharing with me? What are your goals for the plans that you're sharing with me? Are they just winging it? Or have they put real thought and planning into it? Number 8, they will always tell stories about the bad or negative treatment that they received from the people that they once matched with and had the free will to allow in their lives. So imagine a magnet being like, yeah, I don't date her no more. Yeah, I don't date him no more. They are so retarded. And I'm like, aren't y'all magnets at the same level? Yeah, but we don't connect no more. But you are like the same magnets. But what happens in so-called relationships? You increase your magnet levels and You're just not. Y'all don't connect the same way, and you talk bad about that person instead of saying, "Oh my God, I used to be on that level." Man, I'm so glad I'm not on that level. But again, you could be lying to yourself too. Because think about it. There's somebody right now in the club right now with a bodysuit that should be wearing a bodysuit. But they are feeling like this is what I should be wearing. And again, we can lie to ourselves. We can lie to ourselves. So, number 9. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, number 9. So, generally, everybody goes through so-called bad times, right? But when things are going good, this self-sabotager would need to focus on something bad. Hold on, everybody talking about something good? Man, y'all remember Sarah? Yeah, she died. Yeah, Sarah died. And the whole energy in the room would just die because this self-sabotager was like, man, it was too much good going on. I had to counter the energy, right? So they need to focus on bad or negative things to counterbalance all the new good current, new good whatever that's going on, or new good that's being experienced. They want to change the direction of the current momentum or vibrational momentum to give them a so-called sense of having power and control over individuals or team energies. These people can be so defiant. Now check this out. Remember, there's a solution to every problem. I don't want to be around a person like this. No. These people are so defiant that when things are going bad, they come up with actual good solutions time to time and actions. Just because they're so used to being defiant to actual realities that are actually happening. Hold on, things are going bad. Let me do something good because I'm so defiant. So I say all these people, but some of these people, they'll actually come through just because they're so used to being the opposite of an actual happening. Hilarious. Okay. Another negative breakdown of families, groups, and teams is anger and frustration during interactions. What if you don't have enough information to be mad, frustrated, or angry? Now, this might be one of my favorite parts. This is one of my favorite parts. I'm going to say this again. What if you don't have enough information to be mad, frustrated, or angry during arguments? I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Hopefully, you will see what I see with this. And the people that I shared with this with, and again, y'all listening in right here, the people that I've shared this with was like, oh my God, I can never argue the same. Dang, Jason. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Here we go. Presently being unclear or saying I don't know or I'm not clear instantly disqualifies you disqualifies you from arguing or getting angry during so-called disagreements. Let's put it in perspective. So let me give you an analogy. How can a lawyer make an argument, watch this, with no plan, with no or low info of the case, and with the minimum knowledge of their actual client to make any judgments or opinions? So they don't have any knowledge of their client. They don't have they have low info of the case, right? They don't have a plan. They don't have nothing, right? So say this lawyer did try to make an argument and judgments, no pun intended, under these low info conditions, then most people may think that this lawyer is insane, right? Now I'm telling you again, there's a lawyer that is making arguments and making judgments, and this lawyer has never met the client, has never been briefed on the client, has a low or no info of the case. and is in court arguing the case, you would literally be like, man, this lawyer is insane. That's how you should look at people who argue and feel emotions without enough info or proof to make sane arguments and judgments. Big pun intended. Big pun intended. And the sad news is, we've all been this lawyer before during arguments. We were laughing so hard because, again, we've all been this lawyer. You don't even know the client you arguing with. You don't have no info of the case. You don't have no plan. You have minimal knowledge to have judgments and opinions, and you are arguing. You're that lawyer. Congratulations. You're that lawyer. Congratulations. You're that lawyer. So again, that's how we should look at people who argue and feel emotions without enough info or proof to make sane arguments and judgments. And again, big pun intended. I said big pun intended. Yeah, big pun intended. So let's make it hard to argue. You ready? Let's make it so hard to argue. Let me get some props. I have a red and I have a blue Sharpie. Person A and person B wants to move forward on an issue that they currently don't agree with each other on. So they don't agree. But watch this. They making money. They are making money. So for the sake of the project, they need to best merge their perspectives. Okay. Let's take a look at one universal way to move past miscommunications and thought mergers. So remember, we heard of business mergers. Let's look at thought mergers. Translation: the group will use and understand we and us language. When you meet people, I, and me, I, me, I, me, I, my, I, me, I. Cool. Start off like that. I, me. Thought merger. We, us, we, us, we, us, we, us. That's why I started off saying that's why it's so fun to watch team sports. We are doing good. Everybody trying to be like us. Everybody trying to play like us. Us language. Us outcomes. So again, we language, us language with outcomes to prove these claims. Here's a fail-proof way to see who is closer to the truth of a so-called disagreement. Now again, here's your opinion, here's the other person's opinion, and here's the truth. Some people in arguments is here, some people are here, some people are so close neck and neck, but it's like, oh, you were closer to the truth. It's not about you, it's about who's closest to the truth. So here we go. Now again, to do this right, you're going to have to actually have a real conversation. Because like I said, it's hard to disagree when you always converse like this during a so-called disagreement. So all you're doing is building up a history to making it possible to argue. Here we go. Person A. What is your intentions and goal for the present conversation that you're currently disagreeing on? And then look at person A talking. Talk, person A. Talk. Person A is just talking about person A's intentions, goals for the present so-called disagreement. Now, person A is done. Stop, person A. Person B. What is your intentions and goal for the present so-called miscommunication? Person B is talking. Go, person B. Person B is done. Now, person A, Explain your perspective in plain detail. Don't be trying to go all deep. Make it in plain detail. Person A is explaining their perspective on the argument. Instead of going back and forth, person A is explaining their perspective in plain detail. Person A is done. Person B, can you explain your perspective in plain detail? Person B is explaining. Boom, they're done. Now, this is the part where it would eradicate disagreements. But it's so hard for people to do this. This would make a lot of people mad. But watch this. Person A, can you explain person B's perspective? And you cannot move forward until person B says, yep, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's all I got to do? Nope. You got something else. Hold on. After person B says, yeah, you understand where I'm coming from, what are your plans to merge both perspectives? Because again, I'm putting person's A mind in a building, from a building standpoint, versus argue back. Don't try to build. Make it hard. Be combative. No, I'm going to say this again. Person B's perspective. What is person B's perspective? What do you mean? It's about what I want to say. No. What did person B mean? Same thing. Person B. What did person A mean? What did person A mean? And you can't move forward until person A says, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. And you can't move forward until you have a plan to merge. So now, it's 2 merging attempts. That's if you like the person. 2 merging attempts. Because remember, it's thought. This is a thought merger. Person A and person B, they're going to attempt to be like, yeah, we agree. Now, this agree to disagree just basically means I'm not going to budge. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life. It works, but it's just, I'm not going to budge. You're not going to budge. We agree to disagree. Cool. That's great. Merge. Hot merges with cold, but you can't merge your ideal with theirs. According to science, hot up merges with down. But you can't merge and find any truth in any peanut butter and jelly possibilities in the interaction that's actual happening. Cool, that makes sense. Okay. So how successful was the first merger? Did you birth a we and us language? If not, move on to step 8. Step 8, you're going to debrief and find out why you couldn't merge. Talk about why you couldn't merge. Because somebody's probably don't want to budge. If you do find it and you can merge, cool. But if you can't, move on to step 9. After the debrief, you try to merge again. And if that don't work, you debrief one more time. And then if you try one more time for the third to merge or move on. So that's the phrase. Merge here or move on. And watch this. Time will reveal who was actually closest to that particular truth. And that's when you'll get the phone calls. You were right. You were right. Like, I don't know why people say that. Nah, you was right. And you want to be like, yeah, that's why I knew I was right when I first said it. But this could have been a battle of, yeah, you might think you're right, but I'm closer to the truth. So real adults will say, oh my God, I was so far away from the truth there. I'm super sorry. But again, if you miscommunicate, they might not even hear the stuff that you've been saying over the years. So I'm going to make all type of moves because I'm not connecting with you. It's like not having somebody's phone number. You're not going to talk to them on a device. Even though you have a device, you don't have their number. That's a conversation. Sometimes people have conversation numbers. People have appreciation numbers. Sometimes we got to call. We got to make these calls. We can't just show up unannounced. What else do you need to look for when building dream teams? This is super serious. I want you to really feel me on this. How well do they manage time management, project management? Watch this. Busy or problems in their personal lives. Then you see how they manage it with new projects, with possible project mates that come along with it from start to finish. So then you grow one project at a time, or you decrease interactions one project at a time, and all truths will or can be seen eventually. Sometimes it's going to take a while for you to be right. It might take years for people to say, yeah, you was right. Or you might not ever get it. You might not ever get you was right. Who cares? So to recap. You are dealing with people. You are dealing with chaos, which is called humans. You are dealing with up, down, boy, girl, dry, wet, skinny, fat, good, evil, God, devil, nothing, something. You're dealing with chaos, all wrapped up into humans. Everybody got something that they bring to the table, good or bad. You can't do it on your own. You need a dream team instead of a team. So many people, me and my team. No, you need a dream team so you can reach the dream team levels. All right. So I'm going to close it here. Do y'all have any questions? I'm going to stop that live, and I'm going to stop this right here. But if y'all let me know if y'all have any questions, we can get it going.
Recording stopped.
And I appreciate everybody online that tapped in with me. Peace and love.